What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and as is yearly tradition, let's compare every model of the iPhone for the second time in 2016. And no, iOS 10 removes my famous slide to unlock shot, so I cannot do that anymore. Here's a click to unlock instead. And for the 9th year of the iPhone, we've got new arrivals. They remind me so much of the iPhone 3G release.
As we arrive at iPhone's first birthday, we're gonna take it to the next level. Today, we're introducing the iPhone 3G.
So we've got the new iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. Revolutionary phones? No, but a nice upgrade. Very fast and new colors. Now we've also got iOS 10. iOS 10.0.1 to be exact. So far, iOS 10 seems to be like a good upgrade for anyone on iOS 9. Doesn't seem to degrade performance, but let's delve deeper and see how it compares on a range of devices. So here's the iPhone 2G and here's the iPhone 7. Apple told us it is exactly 120 times faster than that phone which you had in your pocket just 9 years ago. That is insane. So we're at a point where we're seeing diminished returns on speed with new phones, and that's exactly why I wanted to make this video, to put into perspective every iPhone release and show you guys just how much faster phones are nowadays compared to them back in the day, to show you how your phone compares, that it's not as slow as you think. And with the arrival of iOS 10 and 2 new iPhones, this is going to be a very interesting test. I was looking forward to making this. So let's start up with the startup test. I've got a new 16-port USB hub. These are getting harder and harder to find in huge configurations, but 3, 2, 1, and they're off. So I try to get this as even as possible. With this kind of an adapter, it's not going to be 100% certain that they're starting up at the same time, but it'll be very close. And in my other test, I compared iOS 9 to iOS 10, and in most cases, iOS 10 starts up slower. The first one is the iPhone 7. And then like clockwork, the iPhone SE, iPhone 6s Plus, iPhone 6s, and then even the iPhone 6 Plus started before the 7 Plus and the iPhone 6. That's incredible. I don't know why that one boots so slow. Then the 5s, and then the iPhone 7 Plus. For some reason, the 7 Plus has a huge delay. Then the 2G, iPhone 3GS, and we're just left with most of the older devices. So 5C then on iOS 10, iPhone 5, and the iPhone 4. Now the 3GS, and the very last one left standing, like it is in almost every single test, is the iPhone 4S on iOS 9.3.5. Don't update if you're on an older firmware. It makes that phone so unbearably slow. Next up, let's run some benchmarks. Feel free to whip out the magnifying glasses. I get it, there are a ton of phones on screen. But as expected, the Geekbench results were very gradual. They rise, and the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus are in first place. So those phones are quite something when it comes to speed. Wow, I just think they're not fully optimized yet. And 2 benchmarks yielded a very similar result. So a gradual rise, and the 7 and 7 Plus have massive scores. I think one of the highest ever. And next up, I ran an HTML5 compatibility test for the Safari browser, and it's okay. It's just not on par with many big Android phones nowadays. Scores in the 500s. Anyways, let's go ahead and run a synchronized opening of the camera application. So this one was timed down to the millisecond. So this is a very accurate test. Launching the camera application was pretty fast, but the 7 and 7 Plus were not the fastest to open it. Now this concludes the speed portion of the video. Of course, the newer the iPhone is, the better it performed. The older phones had a difficulty keeping up, but in some cases outperformed the newer ones. That's what was surprising. So I just wanted to say it's not always smart to update your phone to a newer firmware right away, as it can degrade the performance of your device. In this case, iOS 10 does, but not too much. So next up, audio. Every iPhone so far has had a headphone jack except this year's, so it better make up for it in another way with speaker output. Apple included new stereo speakers in the new iPhones, so I'm very excited to test those out, and they did not disappoint. The older phones were pretty low on the decibel meter scale, but the new ones, oh my goodness, they are loud. And next up, the heat test. So while charging and running benchmarks at the same time for about 10 minutes, I went ahead and measured the hottest point on each iPhone, and the newer ones actually run pretty cool. So it's very interesting to note that the larger Plus models dissipate heat more. Next up, let's check out Touch ID. This is the first time I'm ever running this test, so on all iPhones that have Touch ID modules, seems like they were pretty fast. I mean, the new iPhone 7s were outperformed by the 6S, and I saved the best for last because one of the biggest changes about this year's iPhone is the camera. It is unbelievably good. I started out with a low light test. This is the original iPhone with a 0.3 megapixel shooter. There hasn't been much growth between that 0.3 to 12 megapixels in size, but in other areas in quality, look at this. The iPhone 7 has quality that is just unremarkable in low light. And to really put things into perspective, just 9 years ago, that's what you were taking pictures with. That is day and night difference. So nighttime has certainly improved. Let's get some more color in the shot and start with the 2G. What was once grainy, very hard to make out little details has improved, so much throughout the years. And when it comes to the larger iPhone 6 and 6S and 7 Plus models, all that quality is just amazing. So you can really zoom in and get details. And comparing it to the iPhone 2G, once again, look at that. That is just completely different. And the last test I wanted to perform was a FaceTime selfie test. So taking a picture of that color with the iPhone 4, grainy, and it didn't really start to get good until the iPhone 6S. Now with the iPhone 7, we've got 7 megapixels, and it's certainly much better. Comparing it to the iPhone 4, which was so blurry, you can actually make out details and colors very much better. And just some test footage. So on the left is the first phone that was capable of recording video. This is 480p, I believe, and on the right is 4K from the iPhone 7 Plus. Notice how details are much more apparent. There's no shutter. It's just so much more improved. Now, it took 9 generations of iPhones to get here, but I think Apple is on the right track. So that is every model of the iPhone compared in 2016. I literally almost pulled my hair out making this video. It was so difficult, but here it is, guys, and I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave me a like. I would very much appreciate it. Have a great day and hold your iPhone 7 and 7 Plus closely, knowing it took so much time and refinement to finally get here.